Hey guys, this is not really a post for a class. It's actually just a post because I wanted to tell you about it. Okay, so yesterday I went to New York City to go see the Dance Theater Workshop. They had a group there, an ensemble called the Rude Mechs, and they performed what's called the Method Gun. I don't know if you can see it. It's probably backwards, but still. There it is, the Method Gun. Now, what the play was, it was. I just want to say it was brilliant. It was a very physical theater. They didn't really deal with emotion too much, and they actually kind of made fun of the acting that's based in that. But let me just explain. Okay, so it's a play. It's a truly postmodern play because they combine aspects of a wide variety of different theater conventions. You know, they had realism, they had naturalism, they had Chekhov, they had six characters in Pirandello, they had Streetcar Named Desire, and then also they created like a whole satire, basically mocking the approach they called it, but it's the method, it's Meisner, it's all of these different training techniques that people do in the acting, in the theater industry. So what it detailed, like, it was like a group of people that were supposed to reenact the rehearsal of a streetcar production that tried to do the entire production without the main character. So no Stella, no Blanche, no Stanley. And they basically, that company, they were showing the rehearsals of the company doing that, and they showed the auditions of that the company getting all those people together, and it was just truly amazing. I mean, they had a Chekhov moment, which is brilliant. They every person that they cast could fit, especially like the doofy Vanya character. He could have been cast for Vanya. It was truly amazing. Like the physical strength that these people had in order to do some of the things. Like there was a reoccurring scene where they had a tiger. It was supposed to be, it's like a comedic, it was like a farcical moment. You know, the tiger comes in and he comes back out. And the tiger was kind of, you know, he comes out and he's wearing this big suit, but they have one of the actors sit over and actually voice everything the tiger does. The actual person in the tiger costume is only doing the physical actions of speaking. He's walking around, he's talking, and it looks like he's talking, but it's actually a voiceover of one of the actors in the play. He's performing, he's doing the tiger, and I thought that was just brilliant. They were just making fun of like a relic that this teacher, they call her name was Stella Burden. They were talking about Stella Burden, and it was just amazing. Like they had a crying scene, and you can clearly, what I really enjoyed out of everything else is you can clearly see each actor followed a specific objective. Like they didn't stray away from their objective. So for instance, in the beginning, you see the actors walking around on and off stage, and at first you don't know whether they're just walking around on stage or is this planned. Because it was just they were going in acknowledging the audience, they were going in hugging different people that they were seeing. And at first I went with one of my classmates and friend to go see it. And at first you didn't know whether or not they were just doing this just to do it, because the show was supposed to start at 7, and it's like 7:01 and people are walking back and forth. You see like a stage manager walk in and out, and you're like, what's going on here? And they're all acknowledging the audience, but what I noticed is I started to notice certain things. Like, for instance, every time a character would walk onto the stage, they would do something on the stage, they would perfect a certain blocking, or where something was supposed to be, not blocked, but, what's the word? Gosh. Like, you know when you put the tape, I can't even think of it. When they were marking the floor, essentially. And they would make, like, very perfectly fit everything into those lines, and then they would look at the audience, wave, and then go off stage. And each character would do that, and then you could see little things about each character just in what they were doing. Like, for instance, there was this character, I talked with him after the show, and I mean, I don't want to take anything away from his performance, but I think I was able to tell that he, out of everybody else, had the least amount of physical theater training and the least amount of theater performance, because he basically told me after the show that he is into more film and TV and stuff like that. But what I noticed, it was just like he was playing an archetypal character. Everybody else seemed to figure out their character enough to where it looked like it was just a natural thing going on. Like there was this brilliant performer. His name was Thomas, and he was the Vanya character, and he was just so tall and lanky and so awkward. He had like the Zach Galifianakis beard and the glasses and the really tight 70s pants, because the rehearsal took place in the 70s. So they had these really tight pants, and at one point him and the actor I was talking to at the end after the show were kind of walking around naked with balloons strapped around their penis, and it was the funniest thing I've ever seen, because it was supposed to evoke a crazy party, and so these people were naked with the thing, and it was just outstanding. I mean, I would recommend anybody, if you watch this, if anybody does watch this, I mean, I don't know, it could be a waste of time, but to really go see this, it's going between, well, it already happened, it started the 2nd to the 5th, and then it's going to come, it's going to be the 8th through the 12th as well. It's at 7:30. You can catch the PATH train over there. And one last thing that I wanted to say. At the end of the piece, they kind of do like a playback of everything you've seen. But what they did is they add these pendulums to kind of evoke time, because the pendulum is the clock. And so they're doing all their motions, and they have to move out of the way of the pendulum so they don't get hit. And when I was watching it, they've been together, the same company, for 15 years. They've been performing this piece while practicing and rehearsing. They've done it 4 times for the public, for workshops, and then they've done it, they've been rehearsing for 3 years. You can clearly tell, like, for instance, movement-wise, this was the sync group holding hands, closing their eyes, counting to 20, with nobody saying the same thing at the same time. They were completely in sync. I don't think this could have been done with just a random company. This needed to be ensemble where they truly trusted themselves. But I mean, they just did so many things. Like, for instance, I was writing down some stuff. So like I was saying, it's truly postmodern. How much time? Okay. So it's truly postmodern. They start with they're playing Joplin on the piano, and that kind of evoked this like neoclassicism going on there. Then they did the realism. They tried to mesh the two. Actually, it was so funny. They were like, I think this is a good idea for people who were trying to do this. I was thinking Unity, but you don't know who Unity is. Anyways, what they do is, in order to blend the two worlds together, they have the characters go into the audience and just say hi, you know? And the way the audience members do it, the way they do it, it's like you don't know whether it's the actor or the character, and I think that's what a good thing, because it blurred those lines. And when I was talking to the actor who was brilliant, but his name was Jason, and he was the one that was least involved in actual theater, he was saying that the point of the play, it first starts off as this huge cluster. You don't know what's going on. You don't know what exactly you're seeing. You're like, are they acting here? Who are they now? Who are they now? Are they a character from Streetcar Named Desire, or are they now the actor playing the character in Streetcar Named Desire? It was like they did a beautiful job, and then eventually it just kind of shapes, and you see a plot, and it's a very thin, it's a very subtle plot. It reminded me like so much of Chekhov. I mean, even I asked them a question about the Chekhov influence, and they were saying that the playwright, whose name is Kirk Lind, he went on a Vanya tear at a point, and you can definitely see it throughout his work. And I just thought overall it was a brilliant performance. The Rude Mechs, man. Next time whenever you see them come in your area, I'm in the New York region, so whenever you see them come, please go support them. They were fantastic, and it was a beautiful theater. New York Theater Workshop was beautiful. Maybe I can get an internship there. We'll see about that. But I was just looking at all the different people in it. Like, for instance, the director, she was one of the people in the play. Her name was what was her name? It was Lana. Yes. No. Hannah. Hold on. Excuse me. Her name was Sean. Sean Sides. Brilliant. She was telling the audience, because there was like a little talk afterwards. There's no more talks, but she was telling the audience about how that they don't do everything the same every night. Like, it's always different. For instance, there's this one part during a lecture that the goofy guy starts to do a dance, and it's very staccato, and it's just beautiful. But he said that's not the same dance. He just makes up the dance how he feels. He has an objective. He has a character. The character's name was Carl. He said, how would Carl dance after giving a lecture? And it changes every time. And I thought that was amazing. Like, Sean, she said that they kind of just, they'll do little tweaks even during the performance. Because after I talked to Lana. Yeah, that was her name, Lana. She is the founder of the group. And she was saying that it's really a give and take atmosphere. And I thought that was really, like, what I'm trying to do. I just need to find the right people to do it. It's an atmosphere in which there's no, I'm gonna be the one who's dictating what we do. It's a group effort. They understand each of them have a certain position, but they bring stuff to the table. They're always bringing innovation to the table. And I just thought, man, I was amazed at this performance. It was so physical. It was so beautiful. It reminded me of No in terms of how they were just doing slight movements, because it was a very physical piece, and it reminded me of like, they're very subtle, and it was like they were holding back at times, and they were going forward. They were holding back, and then they were letting it out, and it was just beautifully constructed. And I encourage all of you to go see it. It's again, you can take the path over there, 23rd Street Station. You'll get right there. It's about 4 blocks away from there, or it's like 11 blocks away from Madison Square Garden, Penn Station. I encourage you all to go. I would have taken a shower, but I was just so excited to talk about it. So I guess I'll take a shower now. See you later, guys. Peace.